Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is March 13th, Aligning with Success. And no, I'm not Waldo. But this is my casual look. Very, very casual. Actually, the reason it's very casual is I just happen to be spending a few minutes downstairs fixing the humidifier. That engineering degree comes in handy every now and then. So, all right. Well, it's unusual, but I don't have a sterling agenda for you tonight with respect to I need to cover this content. I thought what I would probably do instead is get some feedback going on a couple of levels, because I'm going to be doing the leadership call tomorrow and I can do some feedback as well. But this call is about aligning with success. So first and foremost, is there anybody out there that has had since the last call a success you'd like to share with the group? Something that you feel very, very proud about over the last week? Anyone?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Hi, this is Cheryl calling from Mount Vernon. Good evening, all.
Good evening, Cheryl.
I want to let you guys know we had a launch on March 8th, and our guests did outnumber our consultants.
Hooray!
So I thought we had to have more guests than consultants, and it was successful. And I feel it was very successful, even with the snafu of our laptop. But I feel very fantastic about what we were able to accomplish, and Mike was very fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's awesome. That's good to hear, especially when there's guests outnumbering the consultants. And so, by the way, I asked you to maybe give us some feedback. How did it work out with the guests? Any feedback on that yet? Cheryl?
I'm in the process of following up with them.
Okay, those are the magic words. Follow up. All right,
yes,
excellent.
And I do think I'm going to have a customer, one of them also. Yes. Okay,
good. You'll probably have more than that given the numbers that you told me. So that's fantastic. Good for you.
We had a meeting. I'm with Barbara Satterwhite. I'm Sandra Thornton.
Yes. By the way, you've joined us as Niken Live, so you haven't reset it's okay. You haven't messed me up, I don't think, yet. So go ahead.
We had a meeting on Saturday, and personally, Al and I had 10 guests and 1 consultant, and 100% of our guests have responded positively. And what I was able to do was to talk with them after the session. And the consultant, I asked her to talk to a lady that I knew was going to take a while, but I knew she was very interested. I had her sit on a seat during the session, and I made sure every one of my guests had the experience of an insole, as Dave Stoltzfus had taught us to do. So I made sure each one either put one in a shoe or under a shoe. So all of them had an experience, whether or not they got to participate as a demonstration. And afterwards, they came up to Al or me. We answered questions, and I was able to give each of them a follow-up date. Barbara's group has been having meetings on Thursdays in our home, and we know that our next meeting for next month is going to be on a certain date, we hope at the same place. So we alerted people of that. And every one of them, one said, I'm ready to order. So I did with her and her adult son last night. And when the son got to saying, I'm not sure that I can do this right now because I've got to get my credit cards down, I listened, figured out what he wanted, what his areas were most interested in. And then I said, I tell you what, while you're on the line and you're going to be riding over to our house with your mom, let me just 3-way her. And so she said what she wanted to order. And she said, yeah, and Jimmy, you need to get da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So they figured they're going to come over Friday, and we're going to have a meeting here anyway on Thursday. And it was super. It just exceeded my expectation, which was already high, but it was good.
Fantastic. Anyone else?
I have have some things. This is Barbara in Maine. I've stepped out of my box and put out some feelers to someone who I heard on the radio for an interview and lives cross country, and sent him some products to try. And we're kind of, we'll be checking in at the end of the week. And then I went to a music performance with these totally outrageous, amazing women. And I Facebook messaged them that I would love to connect with them about more energy and helping with prevention, and didn't hear back from them. But I got an opportunity to meet them after the performance and do an in-soul demo and a little bit of the mag duo. And they left to go back to LA or whatever, and I sent them a message via their website. So I don't know where any of that will go, but I had a lot of fun, and I'm in the follow-up stages. And I've been hosting some events with the New Young Woman, and we've had smaller numbers, but people interested, signing up as customers, one new consultant for her, and really good communication with her about what works and what's not maybe quite comfortable, and very open, and what do I want to say, and then tweaking our approaches. So it's been a nice student, teacher, mentor learning together.
Okay, fantastic. Is Elaine on the phone or on the line here? Elaine Matthews? I'm just scrolling through images here. Yeah, she's on the phone. Okay, Elaine, you're on the phone. You sent me an email today, or I think I just intercepted an email about your attendance for your lunch coming up this weekend.
Yes.
What are your numbers there for now?
I have 30 so far.
30 for the luncheon. Fantastic.
30 for the luncheon. I'm excited. I really stretched myself, Mike, and I started calling business people. You know, that chicken list I had.
Talk to us. Tell us about that, because this is really what I want to focus on. We don't seem to have any challenges with customers. We know when we expose Nikken products to people and we do some of the demonstrations, it's a hands down slam dunk. What I want to do is see if we can get that recruiting engine of yours started. It seems to be firing up on a few cylinders, but not on all cylinders yet. So, Elaine, you've got a bunch of numbers on the scoreboard as far as attendees. So let's get some information from you about what are you doing? What's different about your approach, or what you're saying, or how you're saying it?
I'm just calling business people. I have a whole bunch of people on a list, big list, long list, and I haven't been successful with these people in the past. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to change it, and I'm going to go after business people. And I'm going to get new people this time. And, I've talked to business people in the past, but this time I'm calling them back, and I'm really excited because you're coming to town, and, I'm telling them, the date, and that you're an aerospace engineer, and we're having this luncheon at the Hickory Grill. And, I'm inviting them to come. Before I do any of that, though, I just talk to them, and I just ask them a few questions about what they're doing. I'm going slower with them.
Okay, good.
I'm taking my time. I'm meeting with these people one-on-one. One lady in particular that's coming, she's a psychologist. I've had her flyer on my desk for over a year, with her picture on, and two other people that are working with her. It's a nonprofit organization. And, I looked at that flyer many times, and I just didn't have the drive in me, I guess is a word, to call them. But this time I picked it up, and I said, I'm going to call one of these people. And I just closed my eyes, and I just turned the paper every which way, and I pointed to one person, and it happened to be the owner, the CEO, the lady with the most titles. And I thought, God, you're giving me a good lesson tonight, aren't you? And I picked up the phone, and I called. I thought, she's not going to answer. Guess what? She answered the phone. And I thought, oh, Lord. So I just said, my name, and that I have her flyer, and I'm very interested in this, what she's doing. It's called... well, I'll think of it in a minute, but Connections to Hope. It's a nonprofit organization, And she's a psychologist. And I thought, oh boy, and so I'm just asking her questions. And we're talking, and she's telling me about this and that, and I'm listening, and I'm just asking more questions. Finally, at the end, she says, well, tell me about you. What do you do? And she said, well, I'm with this company, Nikan, and I said, it's about helping people in a natural way, too. I said, without pills and drugs and surgery. And she said, well, what? And how long have you been doing this? I said, it'll be 20 years this summer. And she said, well, what led you to this? And I said, I thought, I'm just going to tell her about working on the turnpike and how I couldn't breathe. And, I didn't go into real big detail, but after I got done, she said, I can't believe you just shared with me what you did. And I said, why? She said, because one of my best friends was admitted to the hospital yesterday, and she can't breathe.
Wow.
And she said, she was excited. I mean, we got to get together. We got to talk. Well, I went over and I met her, and she has this new little puppy, and I love dogs. So, that really helped break the ice a little bit, and we're visiting and we're talking. And again, I'm just asking her a bunch of questions about her business, and I'm seeing all these neat little signs on her walls, and little sayings, and I'm talking about some of these sayings, and at the end, she says again to me, so what are your products like? And well, she's telling me that her husband has diabetes and he has neuropathy. And then she's telling me that her back hurts. So I said to her, well, you know what? I have something that I'd like to give to your husband to use for a week. I said, I really think these will help him. I said, they help me. I have diabetes. And I said, don't have neuropathy, but I believe maybe that's why, because I use these things. And she took them, and I met her husband that night, afternoon rather, and by darn, he used to come to my hometown back in Lancaster County, and we hit it off right away because we started talking about his business again. So what I'm learning is I just gotta be more patient with these people and go out and look for business people. And I'm having much more success with these people. She's coming. I have some other people coming that I stretched, and I called them and I talked to them. And they're coming, and I talked to 3 people at church yesterday. I got 2 to come. I said to my daughter-in-law tonight, I was with my family, and I said, how do I do this with this hashtag thing? I don't understand this. So I get out my cell phone, she shows me, and I said, well, now I want to do this flyer, and I want to remind them to come on Friday. So she showed me how to do it. So I'm sitting in my car, and I'm doing all this, going through the alphabet with everybody. I send it out. I get a call for 2 more people are coming. So all I can tell you is I just made the decision to really, and I'll tell you, if I've called 100 people, I've called 200 people. And I've talked to so many people, and I just, mostly new people. I do have some people coming, from that were interested before. Most of them are very knowledgeable, educated people, instead of going after that limping person that I used to go after.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not that I don't want to help them. I do want to help them. But I remember what Greg Rooney said to me a long time ago, Elaine, you got to help the ones that will look at this, that want to do the business. And once you make the money, you can help those other people a lot better.
That's correct.
Okay. There's your lesson in prospecting, folks. Pick up the phone. Rule number 1. Number 2, don't be afraid to call people who have business acumen. I mean, I want to remind you, thank you, Elaine, for all that. And I'm looking forward to meeting these people. And that for me is a thrill to get on a plane and come out and meet some people who are looking for something. They may not know what they're looking for, but they've just picked up from you that you've got something special and you got somebody coming in that can share this. So that's the key. When I started my Nikken business, I started with a list, and to this day, I still operate this way. I look for people who I feel can help me put Nikken on the map. The goal is to put Nikken on the map. So I'm not looking for people who need Nikken. As far as I'm concerned, everybody needs Nikken. So that's not a qualifier. I'm looking for a qualifier for somebody to work with. And that means somebody who would be able to add to the equation. And so somebody who can influence the situation, who's interested and motivated to make a difference and to make an impact. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for people who are already to some degree extending themselves that way. And then this Nikken is just something that may be a better fit for them. And we'll find that out as they explore what Nikken is. And then remember, the degree to which somebody gets involved will be completely entirely up to them as they relate to this. And that'll happen over time as you increase exposure. The more exposure they have to the bigger the picture, the more they'll connect with the bigger picture and see how this will fit for them. And of course, that always starts with a great product experience. When they have that, there's a tendency for them to up the ante on wanting to know more about the business. But going back to the original precept, I was looking for people who could help me put Nikken on the map. And so I'm not embarrassed by asking for help. That's what I ask for. I'm looking for help. That's what I'm looking for, because that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ways to reach into the community, have a deeper penetration. I'm looking for people who can help me impact different demographics, whether they're male, female, age demographics, racial demographics. I'm looking for ways to impact the community in every way possible. And I'm not the one not everybody can relate to me. And so it's like this. When you bait a hook, when you're going fishing and you bait a hook, you bait the hook based on what you're looking to catch. And if you want to have a lot of different types of fish on the menu, you've got to be prepared to bait them every way they come. And so that means being more open to different ways of approaching this with different demographics. So for me, asking for help, looking for people who might be able to reach into the community that I haven't tapped into is the way to go. That's the way I've gone. So I think that will accelerate your business, because you'll also find, as Elaine has found, that people who are entrepreneurial don't need to be convinced to be an entrepreneur. You're not dealing with the self-esteem issues or the programming issues that are quite entrenched when people are just simply employee mentality. If they've explored being an entrepreneur or been in sales of some sort, then they've already done some personal development. That's really important, because we're in a business where I used to say there's one of two reasons when you come in a Nikken, either to be healed or to heal. So you come to heal others or you come to be healed. Well, right now, in this particular frame of Nikken, this expansion, our launch, is to look for people who have a bigger calling, who know they're connected to a bigger calling. And while they have been doing what they've been doing, limited by what they know is out there for them or what they can relate to, this is an opportunity for them to expand that vision of themselves. Isn't that the same for you? I mean, when you look at yourself, what are you doing here? I'm sure making money is a part of it, but it's not all of it. It's the idea that you're making a difference and that you've got a vehicle that can have impact beyond your reach, beyond your ability physically, because you can now extend your influence through others. I think that's a pretty big one. Which, by the way, I don't have it in front of me. I think I've ripped up all my samples, but I'm working on the next flyer for the launch. That should be hopefully today or tomorrow, my final version, and I've changed the three captions that we write under the main caption. I've added it's more now centered around someone's benefit statement. See how you resonate with this. So right now the main caption is health, wealth, and purpose. And then those 3 bullets underneath: enjoy increased vitality, create stronger finances, achieve greater impact. Do you think that could be something you could relate to, or somebody else might relate to? So we're going to try this in this next quarter, see how that runs, and if that speaks to people, more people, in the way that we're trying to. Health, wealth, and purpose. Enjoy increased vitality. Make healthier choices that fit your lifestyle. Create stronger finances. Multiply time and money in the gig economy. Achieve greater impact. Join a community of purpose-driven entrepreneurs. What do you think? Are we on the right track there? Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Okay, so let's see. We do have a couple of critical things coming up that I want to turn your attention to. So first of all, I am going to be traveling this weekend, 3 dates: Pittsburgh on Friday, New Jersey on Saturday, and Philadelphia on Sunday. So if you've got contacts in any of those areas, you know where the flyers are, Active Wellness Tour, get them out there. Start sending those invites out there and say, hey, listen, something's coming up. Again, this is a time to be a little bit more bold than maybe what you're accustomed to sort of expand your vision of yourself, your self, what's the word I'm looking for? Your self-image. Increase your own self-image. Recognize yourself as a higher power in this, because without you, they're not going to get this access. So you represent a means for somebody, not the end, but the means to an end. And that just really is about getting out there and asking, facing the fear of ridicule, or facing the fear of being asked questions that maybe you don't have the answers to, which you probably have the answers to anyway, as Elaine resorted back to what? Her story. I mean, it's your story. Your story's real. And it's as powerful as anybody else's story, as far as I'm concerned, as far as anybody is concerned. So you've got that. You've got the ammunition to go out there. You got a good story to talk about, which is the Nikken story. You got a great story to talk about, which is your own personal story. You've got your own reasons for why you're doing this. Also a good reason to share. And that's only just the bait to see if somebody bites, if this is something that might attract them to want to know more. And then, of course, you have also the opportunities to share. We've got the information highway at Nikken's never been more accessible. Would you agree with that? Would you agree that we now have access to information to share Nikken bigger, better, faster than anything ever before? I think so too. So we've got to leverage this every which way we can and get it on the map. I'll tell you, I got a big business in Latin America, and I always compare where we are relative to what's going on in Latin America. Now, I also have to take, I realize that Latin America is in a momentum. They're already, they're months ahead of us in terms of momentum, because they've been oriented this way for some time. And a lot of their incentive programs were designed around what we are now only starting to come equipped with here in North America. So they have been, that's what I love about it, because it's a window into the future. I see what they're doing. I see what's motivating them. I see how they're operating, and they're breaking ranks, even though they have a strong retail base or strong retail-centric environment. But here's something. I wrote this down. I was at lunch this week with Gloria Nava, who's one of my top income earners in Nikken. Let me just see if I can find the email that I sent Ben, because it was a really interesting conversation I had with her. And we had lunch, and I asked her what it was about Nikken that was causing this incredible rush that's happening in Latin America. What's the magic? And well, I'll just tell you what it was. She used keywords like professional network marketing. The fact that they put on a professional network marketing appearance rather than just network marketing. So they're not ashamed of the fact they're in network marketing, because they recognize that they represent the network marketing in a professional way, which is characteristic of Nikken. So the more professional you are about the way you behave, the more likely people are going to recognize there's a difference here. there's a lot of women who've joined NICAN in Latin America, primarily women, and the reason being is that a lot of these women are fed up with the restrictions of time trying to raise children. They can't be at two places at the same time, so they see NICAN as a way to create a professional income, yet at the same time enjoy the benefits of being a stay-at-home mom. So the idea that it is a profession and it's legitimized by how professional they are when they do their events, they're all very professional about it. They dress up, they look fantastic, they tell that, you know, they go about things in a professional way. So the environment that they've created when they hold an event is one that speaks of professionalism, which, by the way, is one of the things that I recommend when you're looking out for venues. When you're looking for venues to do a public event, keep in mind that venue is a reflection of the level of professionalism that you're bringing to the NICAN equation, or it's representative of NICAN. So if people don't see a professional environment, they're going to think it's not a very professional organization. It's not attractive. Keep in mind, these people are already involved in some kind of a profession or career. And we're trying to show them an alternative that has better benefits. So first impressions are very, very important. And so keep that in mind as you go about what you go about, which is why, by the way, I've been spending the time and money in putting together these professional flyers, because at least it looks professional. It speaks to the level of professionalism that we're approaching this. I think that's huge if you want to establish yourself as a professional. So that was the two biggies that I got from our conversation, was the fact that people were looking for a better way to make an income and not have to sacrifice their time with their family. And number two, the fact that it was a professional possibility. Oh, there was a third. The third was that they knew that in time they could grow an income to a professional income, that they knew that that was available. So, and what I mean by a professional income, the number that she threw around, which resonated for her community, was $10,000 a month. So they know that that's the kind of income that's available. They know that there's time involved in building that, but they also, oh, and there was one last piece. And the last piece was she mentioned humans being more. The fact that NICAN's not only professional, but it's connected to a cause has emotional connection to people can relate to, that has purpose. So none of this is new to you, right? But we have to wear it on our sleeve. It has to be very evident to people when they come into contact with us or when we reach out to them. It has to appear that way to them right from the beginning when you reach out to connect with somebody. They've got to know that, number one, it is a profession. That, yes, we're in network marketing, and there's a lot of network marketing junkies and there's a lot of network marketing junk, but that doesn't make us that. And I could speak about any other industry in the same terms, right? There's good and bad in all industries. So we're talking about the hybrid and the higher quality of our industry. We're at the top of our game, the top of our profession. So we can demonstrate that. We have products that are totally unique. Oh, sorry, I forgot that one. She also said we don't have Me Too products. That's very appealing to people when you talk about network marketing, is that you don't look like every other network marketing company. So in my case, I like to demonstrate products that I know people haven't seen or experienced. And so we've got, I think, the finest products for recruiting, because they can create high impact in a short period of time with a demonstration. And that is very attractive. Versus, why is this ingredient in this instead of this ingredient in that? I'm not into that. And I don't think most people who are trying to represent a professional organization in something at the front end of the conversation, you want to be pretty unique in your approach. I don't want to sound like and look like anybody else. So yet, at the same time, we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We know the consumables are a very important aspect of the long-term benefits of our business opportunity and our residual income. And they would know that too once they get past the initial hurdle of, oh, is this network marketing, etc. So if we show them that there's a strong back end as well a unique and robust front end. We have the best of all worlds where network marketing is concerned. And then, you know, throw in things like shampoo. I love saying this. Shampoo, when they first came out with shampoo, I thought, oh my God, we've lost our mind. We're now going to sell shampoo and conditioner. What have we become? And then, so they're all thinking the same thing, right? And then I say, except for what happened. We got this thing called tri-phase technology, and they threw that into the shampoo, and holy cow, you should hear the stories I'm hearing. And so all of a sudden, that little ridiculous shampoo idea becomes something kind of interesting. So it's all in the timing. You know, comedy is in the timing. Well, presenting Nikan is also kind of in the timing. Know when it's appropriate to go there. But keep the unique and interesting aspect of Nikan on your sleeve. That's on the front end. The fact that we are professional. We go about this in a professional way. Most of the people who've been attracted to Nikan are highly educated and have a higher than normal income bracket. I remember we did this statistic, I can't remember how many years ago, so I don't know how the demographics would reveal themselves to date. But we did have a higher income bracket than the mean average. So the mean average income in North America was almost double the mean average income in terms of the income of the professionals getting involved with Nikan. Almost all of the professionals, over 70 to 80%, I believe it was, had a degree of some kind. So we're clearly appealing to that market. So we want to reflect that. We want to show that and showcase that. That'll all go a long way towards recruitment in terms of adding to your network. And again, going back to what we started with Elaine, was the idea that business people or entrepreneurs at large, they've already gone through, they've already cut their teeth on other things and are much more open to possibilities than those who haven't even tried it once. So those are higher on my list in terms of priorities of outreach. Anyway, the other thing that I want to mention that's critical is that we do have an event coming up besides these events that are quarterly. Tomorrow I'm going to be pushing again hard. You book your April, May, and June dates. Folks, you may be right now hosting March events and you're thinking, how can I be thinking April, May, June? Well, because April is just around the corner, and if you don't give some thought now to laying that date down, doesn't matter what's going on right now, you got to plan for the future, and we've got the next quarter right around the corner. So start planning. Take 15 minutes of your day. I do that all the time. I'm still old school. I use this calendar. Let me see if you guys can see, because I can't see myself. Here it is. So I use this dumb calendar here to do my planning and my scheduling, so I know how to manage my time, and then I transfer this all into commitments and so forth. So do whatever you have to do to start thinking about your events calendar for April, May, and June. And if you have a request to have a speaker, send me the email. Say, here's my dates. These are my 3 dates. I'm going to put them back on the master calendar, those dates. And then we're going to look at them as we always do and plan how we're going to travel. But we also have a product launch. Nikan's given us a product launch in April. So that's something we can tag team. We tag team the event using the promotional flyer with a product launch. In fact, what I'm thinking is maybe where the title of the topic that you guys put in for your event, put product launch. New Nikan product launch, something like that. So we'll have new Nikan product launch and, I don't know, why Nikan, why now, or the Nikan choice, or whatever that other topic is. So just something to think about. And lastly, come April, how many of you have got your tickets for Orlando? Well, you've got till tomorrow to take advantage of the lower ticket pricing. It's I posted, it's on Ben's Facebook page. I sent a broadcast email to my organization, and I put it on, I think I put it on Royal Alliance as well. But if you use March 02, no spaces, as your promotion code right now, you get, I forget what the number is, I think it's 20 or 25% off the ticket price. So, and that's only until tomorrow. So get the word out. Let people know. They didn't know. I've been having all kinds of feedback that people didn't know this promotion was happening. So take advantage of it. And then you've got 2 weeks before the hotel pricing goes up. And you can do all that, by the way, on the website, right off of the nowyouseme.global website. You can book your hotel. You can and get your tickets. So take full advantage of that. Now, why? Why would you do that? Why would you be pre-planning now? Why would you be putting stuff on your credit card today when you know that's not going to be until next month? Because of everything we've been talking about. When you step into the shoes of the person, then you will be funded by the energy of the universe to make all the accommodations possible. When you are the person who's going to be there, then you're going to be the person who's going to bring others with them. Because the first thing I had to think about when I went to buy my tickets, first thing I thought about, wait a minute, how many do I need? You see, you might think, oh, I just need mine. So you go to buy your ticket, and then you're about to put the quantity down. It's like, wait a minute, how many do I need? So I had to decide how many people I was bringing with me. So I go out on a limb and I book the number of tickets that I'm planning to have people, and I start thinking in my mind, okay, they're gonna come. They haven't said yes. I haven't even asked them yet. So, but I'm operating with it's either them or it's somebody else, because the shoes will get filled. So I just want you guys to be in the habit of good habits, good steps, good behaviors, good habits lead to results. And these are the kind of things that I do and have always done, betting on the fact that things would happen. I knew when I launched in January, in December, I booked, if you understood what I booked, for the month of December, I booked 6 meetings per week in a hotel room, 6 meetings per week on the main calendar, and then 2 main events. One was for over 200 people, and the other one was a special training. So we had 6 meetings per week. So I called the hotels on the east and west end of the city. I booked one on the east end, one on the west end, and I gave them the dates. I need this date, this date, this date, this date, this date. So I pre-booked the hotels, because what was I going to do if I didn't do that? I needed to have a place to bring people and to promote, and I needed to print the calendar. I had to actually publish this month's calendar. Now, I only thought 1 month ahead. It was the 3rd week of the first month that I realized, oh my God, we're almost in February. We need a February calendar. So I had to do the whole thing again for February. This time I did February and March, but I only published February, but I booked through to March because I need to make sure that I had that space. Why? Because I expected people to be there. I expected my business to need it. And so that's why it happened the way it happened. You've got to expect success, folks, and plan for it. So, any comments? We've got about 4 minutes here. Anyone?
Well, I just like to say that I think it's totally exciting. This whole, just your energy, everybody's energy is extremely inspiring for me. And I also appreciate just feeling so connected and supported. And thanks. I just think the information is invaluable. And there's something that happened, inside of me that is a change, and I know it. I'm really happy about the whole thing. So I know it's happening.
Fantastic. Well, it all starts with a decision, right? Anyone else? Okay, I don't know that we covered anything new. Sometimes it's worth brushing off some dust and some stuff that we've already covered, just to be reminded of what are the high priority things in our business. What are high priority? High priority is talking to people. High priority is looking for people who could be a great asset to you, to Niken, to the business, who already come equipped. I think it was Dennis Williams who said batteries already equipped. So it's easier to work with people who already have a predisposition for success, and they're just looking for the right vehicle. And they may not even be looking, because they're doing everything they can with what they got. And then here you come along. I'll bet you, if you think about it, for most of you, Niken was a complete distraction when you were first introduced. It was like, I don't have time for this. Wait a minute. I've already got a life. I've already got what, but then somehow something connected, right? So I'm sure it's the same for everybody else that you're going to be talking to. So don't let that hold you up. Talk to the busiest of them, because they're busy for a reason. And then obviously plan your events. Plan them to be a professional event, so that when you deliver and people come to this space and this environment, they immediately have an impression before anybody said anything. They think, wow, this is the kind of group I could probably hang out with. I could respect this. If you've worked all your life for a degree, for a career, for professional vocation, for letters at the end of your name, you don't want to be walking into a place that makes you feel like you're going backwards, right? So it's important. And dress for success. Even a pair of jeans and a white shirt with a blazer looks pretty damn good today. So just doesn't have to be a tie, but just keep that in mind, that it is still a world where people want to feel like they belong and they fit in. And so the first impressions are the ones that are going to be lasting. And then, of course, when they get to hear what you have to say and what we share, then it's easy. That part's easy, but it's getting them to open their mind first. And that's the hard part. And that's the part that we've got to use every tool we know. Last comment?
Thank you, Mike. It's Elaine, for believing in me and for coming to Pennsylvania. Because you made me stretch myself. You really did. I went out and I just started calling people. And
well, that's what we do, folks. We sow seeds. And then we just put some water on them.
I'd just like to comment, Mike. I had a good session with Christine today. It was a very good one. And as a result of that, she's doing an ABC with a contact that she found, I think, on Facebook with Barbara Joseph, yoga business owner in Minnesota. And just in the chat that we had on the mentoring session, what I really see different, you use that word democratization, but you guys have really come out in the field and you've worked with us. And so to help lift our spirits and our confidence. And even the comments last Friday with Ben and with you, that if we're not where we thought we were going to be, that's okay too, that just don't give up and just to figure out why and keep improving at the quality improvement component. But you said tonight nothing is new, and it really isn't new, but what is different, it's the involvement in mentoring in the field and really showing us what to do, and then this kind of connection in the weeks in between. So I particularly value that. And I do think there is a certain group of people that are going to make this happen for the reasons that both Carol and Elaine just stated, because you've truly empowered us, you and Ben and the other leaders that are out doing this, and then these various different calls that we're on, have empowered us and have shown your backsides. And if there wasn't a room full, then it was okay that whoever was there was supposed to be there, or even just for us, wherever we are and where we are now. So this has been particularly good, and the timing with Christine today and the calls that she made in the plan. Remember when you developed the creating balance and that other little trifold that we had from Nika? We don't have a lot of that. And I'm excited about what she put together, because she's organizing what she wants to take out to someone. When she was a salon owner and different vendors came in, they came in professional with something to hand and a presentation and a packet. And we have lost some of that. We're scurrying around and making things and putting things together and what's new and what's current and whatever. And so this has given us the opportunity for those with the skills that she has, or that Barbara Joseph has, or whomever, as we've continued to tweak one another's presentations and to work with one another on these events. Working with Michelle Kowalczyk weekly and having different guests on and so forth, that has just been such a learning environment. And I don't think it's been any wasted time at all. The repetition is the mother of all learning. It has made a difference. And so, and there is an impression of you, and the fact that you've held your standard high, yet you've respected each of us for where we are. And I hear that in Ben also. You and Ben each have different kinds of complementary approaches that I think are very synergistic with one another as well. And then the other leaders that have come through, you know, what we're learning from Gary and the Platinum Alliance, that has been a wealth of information and connections to all the others, and the other Dr. Gary from the world headquarters. You know, today Christine mentioned, well, your style and my style and mom's styles are different. Well, we have different styles, and that's okay, and you've permitted that to be okay. However, there are certain steps, 10 steps, 5, whatever it is, you know, that hasn't changed. The teach 3 to reach 3, and contacting and inviting and the conversations. And I have really, the little conversations in between with, with Christine and with Carol and with Elaine have been very good for me, to help me in the areas that I need to grow. And so Elaine has cut, just like Carol, several different calls. Madeline, you know, I don't know if I can do this, but I've got another one, and I've got another one. You know, she keeps texting with all these people that she has coming, and that's okay, Madeline. You know, where are your guests? And how are you going to get them in the car and get them to Pennsylvania too? And so we're really, truly helping to be the mirrors for one another, respecting each person's individual charisms and strength, and celebrating each victory, however big or small they are. And so I just wanted to say that, how much I'm learning from everyone here.
Fantastic. I'll tell you, what a selling point this is in business. This is not very common. This is not a very common experience in business. And I don't care what business you're in, this is very uncommon. So the fact that you are also part of and creating a process that is unique in the world of business that we represent on our flyers. When we talk about joining a community of entrepreneurs that are purpose-driven, we mean it. I mean, we can show it. This is one of the things that you'll be able to invite them to and say, we're for real. This is really happening. So again, I thank everybody else, all of you, because I wouldn't be on this call if you weren't on this call. So thanks for your support and for contributing to the call. And those of you who find yourself, you know, maybe in the background right now, there's room for you here to come up to the foreground anytime. So I want to keep that channel open for you. With that, I'm going to call it a call. I guess I'll see you guys next week. For those of you who I'm going to see this week in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Philadelphia, let's make it happen. And the rest of you, send out your calendars, send out your dates for April, May, June, please, so we can get them booked in advance. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.